Hello dear student, I am Kanchan Vishramji Kumbalkar, Assistant Professor, Shri Shivaji College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Akola. In the series of lectures of Thermoanalytical Method, this is the 8th lecture. I hope you are enjoying the topic. So let's start. This is the overall syllabus of MSc Analytical Chemistry Unit 1st, that is Thermal Method of Analysis. The highlighted topics are completed in previous lectures. In this lecture, we will discuss about the applications of differential thermal analysis. Before that, what is meant by differential thermal analysis? A simple review. In a differential thermal analysis, we compare the delta T versus the temperature of the two component. First one is the sample compound and second one is the reference compound. Generally, alumina has been taken as a reference compound, which is inert to the temperature at a particular level. So in a differential thermal analysis, the effect of temperature and the change in temperature rate means the T and delta T has been compared and that has been plotted on a graph. On y-axis we put delta T and on x-axis we put T, temperature, which is continuously moderately increases in a successive rate, in a constant one, and on the behalf of this we analyze the compound. That type of method is known as the differential thermal method or differential thermal analysis. Now we are focusing about the last point of differential thermal analysis, is that is the application of differential thermal analysis. The first application is that it is very useful in a quantitative estimation of the substance. Basically there are two types of analysis, qualitative and second one is the quantitative. When we discuss the qualitative, means we can find what kind of materials are present, means we discussed or we find out the quality of compound. And when we are dealing with quantitative estimation, in this case we identify the numbers, we are identifying number of moles, number of particles, etc. So quantity has been discussed, what type of element is present and what is the amount of that particular amount is known as the quantity. When you are measuring quantity, then it is known as the quantitative estimation. So the quantitative estimation of substance can be identified by the means of differential thermal analysis. We know that there is a differential thermal graph, DTA graph. In that DTA graph, on the basis of the peak area for differential thermograms depend upon the mass of the sample, that is small m. It is also depend on the enthalpy, that is delta H, of the chemical or physical processes, and certain geometric and heat conductivity factor. These variables are related by the equation A is equal to minus G m delta H upon K, or it can be modified in the sense of another factor K dash, in a sense of A can also written as equals to minus K dash G m delta H. So the first application is that we can identify the quantitative estimation of the substance by using a differential thermogram. For that purpose, there is a equation has been given which is having a various variable that is A is equal to minus gm delta h upon k equals to minus which is equal to minus k dash gm delta h. What are those? That has been explained in a next slide. Before that, this is the obviously a simple DTA curve. What is the DTA curve? In a DTA curve, we put on a y-axis delta T and on a x-axis the temperature. This DTA curve has been previously studied in a previous lecture. This is the DTA curve of calcium oxalate monohydrate in a various 2 atmospheric condition. We know that there are the factor affecting the DTA curve in which the prominent factor is atmosphere. If you change the atmosphere, the DTA curve change. Means in this case, if you are using a air, there are 3 peaks has been observed where the 2 is endotherm and 1 is exotherm. And if you are considering the same compound in CO2, if you are heating the same compound in a CO2 and observe DTA curve, then there is a 3 peaks obviously, but only there is no any single exothermic peak, all are a endothermic peak. Means in DTA curve it has been mentioned that this is the characterization of the DTA curve. It is a simple DTA curve. Now next one, what is the equation and what it indicate? The previous equation is A is equal to minus gm delta h upon k, where A is a peak area. A is peak area, G is a calibration factor that depend upon the sample geometry. K is constant related to the thermal conductivity of the sample. As the temperature changes, its thermal conductivity, as a compound changes, its thermal conductivity changes. So sample differ, the thermal conductivity differ. So the K is a constant related to the thermal conductivity of the sample, and the enthalpy delta H is given a negative sign for exothermic process and for positive for that of the endothermic process. Means obviously in a DTA, what is the basic principle? When we are considering there is a either physical or chemical reaction occurred, and due to which there is a fluctuation difference in TS and TR. What is TS and TR? TS is the temperature of sample and TR is the temperature of reference. If TS and TR get differentiated, then its difference, that is delta T, has been mentioned, which is putting on a y-axis, and that is affecting the what kind of reaction. Either if it is exothermic, the peak is positive. If it is endothermic, then peak is negative. Similarly, we know that in a thermodynamics we studied it already, that delta H is negative if the condition is or process is exothermic, and if it is a positive, then it cleared that the process is endothermic in nature. If it is delta H is negative, then it is a exothermic process, and if it is positive, then it is counted as a endothermic process. For a given species, K dash remain constant provided that a number of variable such as heating rate, particle size of the sample and placement of thermocouple are precisely controlled. Means the K dash is depend on, it is also constant, but it is depend on the various factor which has been installed during the process of reaction. So it's a heating rate, particle size of sample and placement of thermocouple which has been precisely controlled. If get deflected, the K dash may get deflected. Under these circumstances, the above equation can be employed to the calculating the mass of analyte from peak area. So G can be calculated, delta H can be calculated, K is depend upon, K dash is depend upon the instrument, K is also depend upon the sample. So all the terms can be identified. A is the peak area which can be observed by considering the DTA curve. So on the basis of this, the M can also be calculated, or on the basis of this side we can calculate the mass of analyte from that of the peak area. Here K dash delta H can be determined by that of the calibration. So K dash delta H can be determined by that of the calibration. A is the peak area, K dash dependent compound, G and delta H can be calculated, and hence we can calculate the mass of analyte from that of the peak area. So this is the first application, that is you can identify a compound, or quantitatively the quantitative analysis or estimation can be identified by using the peak area or thermogram. Next one is the second one, study of inorganic substance. The DTA has been widely used for studying the thermal behavior of inorganic compounds such as silicates, ferrites, clays, oxides, ceramics and glasses. Information is provided about the processes such as fusion, dehydration, oxidation, reduction, adsorption and solid state reaction. An important application of thermal studied is the construction of phase diagram of many compounds. For example, an example is the differential thermogram of pure sulfur. Now let's check out one point. What is meant by, first of all, phase diagram? Phase diagram means it is a diagram in which the temperature and the state of the any material has been plotted as a graph format. That is known as the phase diagram. We know that for example, in a water phase diagram, we know that there are three lines, a point which is known as the triple point. The triple point means what? At that point the water coexist in all these three phases, that is water as a liquid, water as a gaseous means vapor, and water as a ice means solid phase. So that triple point is a pressure and temperature coincident where the all phases has been maintained. So it is simply graph between pressure and temperature in the sense of phases. So in this case it is also the DTA curve can be identified as a phase diagram on the basis of this. Means in this case, for example, in a sulfur, we know that in a sulfur case 113 is considered as that of the rhombic to the monoclinic. Next one, the liquefaction means solid get converted into liquid, then liquid transformation, and this is the liquid to the vapor phase, means it is a boiling, means this is solid transition. This is your solid to liquid, means liquefaction, melting. This temperature is indicating the liquid transfer, and this is considered as that of the liquid to the vapor phase, means boiling. Means this DTA curve indicate, or it is important for the construction of thermal phase diagram. So it is important, or it is a helping hand for that of the phase diagram construction. Similarly, we know that there are two types of reaction, or two peaks has been observed. First one is the either endothermic, or second one is the exothermic. We know that oxidation is always exothermic in nature. So on the basis of reaction you can predict the type of peak, or on the basis of type of peak you can predict the various types of reaction occurred during the process. Means during about a process, suppose fusion, dehydration, oxidation, reduction, adsorption, solid state reaction, these are various types of reaction occurred, and on the basis of this the either endothermic or exothermic signals has been observed. So on the behalf of this you can predict the type of reaction, or on the basis of type of reaction you predict the type of signal occurred in that DTA curve. So on the behalf of this you can study the inorganic substances like the silicates, ferrites, clay, oxides, ceramics and glasses very well by using a DTA curve. So this is the second application. First one is the quantitative estimation, second one is the study of inorganic substances, and third one the study of organic compound. The DTA provides a simple and accurate method for the determination of melting point, boiling point and the decomposition point for organic compound. As we see previously in a sulfur DTA curve, it clearly indicates the temperature where the boiling started, where the melting started and where the compound get decomposed. In case of sulfur, there is no decomposition point has been observed or it is not studied, but in a various DTA curve it has been observed that up to a particular temperature the compound is stable, but above that the compound get reacted, it get decomposed. So the decomposition point, melting point, boiling point can be observed by using or can be determined by using a DTA method. For organic compound that has been very useful. Generally the data appear to the more consistent and reproducible than those obtained with a hot stage, oil bath or capillary tube. For example, the differential thermogram for benzoic acid consists of two sharp endotherms at 122 degrees Celsius and 249 degrees Celsius, which corresponds respectively to the melting and the boiling point of compound. It is also possible to identify organic compounds by the characteristics differential thermogram. Atlases containing differential thermogram of thousands of organic compounds are commercially available. The fourth application is that the study of polymer. The differential thermograms can be used in the characterization of polymeric material. In figure 1.12 is an idealized thermogram that illustrates the various type of changes that may occur during the heating of polymer. In this curve, the baseline shift A correspond to the glass transition temperature. The exotherm C in this curve, the baseline shift A correspond to the glass transition temperature. So A point indicating the glass transition temperature. This is glass transition temperature. Second, the B and D are the exotherm. These two exotherm, B and D exotherm, indicate the crystallization and the oxidation respectively. So this is glass transition phase, this is exotherm because of the crystallization, this is the exotherm because of the oxidation process. There is one more endotherm, that is C, indicate. This C is a endotherm. Why it is endotherm? Because with respect to temperature the delta T is negative. So it is a endotherm. So in this case endotherm, it is corresponding to the melting of polymer. The decomposition of polymer is indicated by the sharp deviation of the baseline toward the endothermic side, indicating that the temperature of sample does not rise beyond the decomposition point. So on the basis of the DTA curve, we can identify or we can study the polymer. We can identify what kind of reaction occurred on what temperature and what is the decomposition temperature, what are the crystallization temperature, what type of reaction has been occurred, what is the stability of polymer. All these points means the overall study of polymer can be done by using a DTA curve. This is the fourth and last application of DTA curve. So this is all about the DTA curve and its application. This is the literature, and finally this is all about the DTA curve. At this stage, a DTA curve, its application, its instrumentation has been finished. In next lecture, we will start with the simple numerical problems dependent on various point. So up to that, check out the DTA curve. Be safe, stay safe. Thank you very much.